What up, what up, what up, you guys? It's Blackwing 2040. Welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be a review on pretty much, I can say, this is one of the best Star Wars shows ever made. That's right, guys. I'm going to be reviewing Star Wars The Clone Wars. Now, this is pretty much going to be a whole full series review. I'm not going through bits and pieces of all 7 seasons. This is just my review on the entire season as a whole. Pretty much giving my, I could say my opinion on each of the different factions that play a role in the show, because let me tell you something. There is war on both sides of the table. Not just like, with the Jedi versus the Sith and the clones and the droids. No, there is war within the system, within the Jedi system, within the clones, within the Sith itself. There is so much turmoil and deceit, and it is just incredible. That is just the power of great storytelling. I love it. So this show pretty much takes place in between, if you guys haven't noticed, this takes place in between episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. This is pretty much where the bulk of the Clone Wars takes place. Now, funny enough though, the first episode, technically, if we're being chronological here, the first episode of the show really takes place in season 3. And then, of course, it's a very strange, chronologic of how these shows go through, because I did, when the show first aired, I watched the show right when it premiered. Well, heck, when the movie first released back in 2008, and then when the show premiered on Cartoon Network in 2008 as well. I just, I wasn't able to keep up with the times and everything, but thank God for Disney Plus, am I right? So, honestly, I guess, what else can I say about Clone Wars is that, this show dives so deep into each of these characters. It gives, point of views to not only just Jedi, but the clone troopers as well. Because we also, when we look at Star Wars, if we play like a Star Wars video game, we all see the clone troopers and stormtroopers. We all just see them as, like, cannon fodder. Like, really, they don't really do much anything. But with this show, we get to see how the clones feel, how they react, how they go out into the field. Like, you see the real personal stories of these clone troopers, and I really love that. And since I'm talking about these clone troopers, let me talk about one of the best clone troopers within this show, Captain Rex. Rex is the most loyal clone trooper as they come. He's been with them since the beginning, and even after the end, he went with his gut feeling, and just pretty much he learned from Anakin himself that, choose your feelings, don't let your feelings get in the way. But with Rex, he's learned that from Anakin, and Rex is just, he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT clone trooper as it is. And Rex is not the only one. You also have 2 special troopers known as ARC Troopers, ARC Trooper 5 and ARC Trooper Echo. These 2 are pretty much were originally part of a group of clone troopers called Domino Squad. And I love how we get to see the formation of how Domino Squad came to be. We saw them as rookie recruits and everything. They went through their training process. They graduated from the, the clone trooper training and actually became clone troopers. Some of them, died in battle, which it happens with clone troopers. With 5 and Echo, those 2 are pretty much stand out the most, especially 5, because 5 is the one that found out the real reason about Order 66. Without 5, Rex wouldn't have known about what Order 66 was, and they wouldn't have known that they have chips in their brain that gives them the command to just pretty much annihilate all the Jedi. And that is, again, that goes back to perfect storytelling. And another group of clone troopers to mention about, the Bad Batch. Now, these guys pretty much appeared in the final season, in the first arc, and the cool thing about these guys, they are not your average ordinary clone troopers. These guys pretty much go the extreme. You have Hunter, Tech, Crosshairs, Wrecker, and the cool thing about these guys, they're getting a show on Disney Plus next year. So, with such a high popularity with this clone squad, I'm happy for these guys, because pretty much when they first came on the scene, I'm like, I like these guys. They're like the Suicide Squad of the clones, of course, they're different. They're not like, every single clone that they look alike. They are pretty much, they don't do things by the book. They make their own rules. And that's what I love about the clone troopers. They're really incredible. Now, to talk about the Jedi side of Clone Wars, pretty much our besides our main focus Jedi like Anakin and Obi-Wan, we are also introduced to Ahsoka Tano, who became a very popular character within the show. A lot of people said that Ahsoka was annoying in the beginning. When she first came onto the scene, or when she first appeared in the Clone Wars movie, I had no problem with her at all. I liked her character. She was young. She's trying to prove that she was not too young to become a Padawan, and she was really destined to follow the Jedi Order and to become a Jedi. She had a goal and she wanted to do it. And of course, to be under Anakin's teachings, they work well together. The witty banter that they have with Ahsoka calling him Sky Guy, Anakin calling her Snips because she has the snippy back talk. You see how far Ahsoka comes, and then especially in the fifth season where she's accused of murder, she pretty much got framed by a best friend of hers within the Jedi Order. She sees that how corrupted the Jedi Council can be, and even though the Council can be wrong and they're right, but even though she sees like, what, maybe I'm not supposed to be a Jedi. Maybe I don't need to be here. I need to find my own path. And that's what I love about Ahsoka. Now, plus, this isn't the last we see of Ahsoka. Ahsoka appears in other shows like Star Wars Rebels. And, of course, at the time of this recording, she makes an appearance in Season 2 of The Mandalorian, played by Rosario Dawson. And it was incredible. So incredible. Ahsoka really is, she isn't a Jedi. If anything, she's pretty much her own person, or in the final season, she calls herself a citizen. But again, Ahsoka as a whole, she's a strong character. Now, to talk about, of course, the main, favorable Jedis within the Jedi Council, Anakin and Obi-Wan. What isn't there to be said about Anakin and Obi-Wan, except we dive a little deeper, especially with Obi-Wan, because we always see Obi-Wan as, the master to Anakin. We also always see him giving him orders to the clone troopers and everything. But what I love with the show that it did with Obi-Wan Kenobi is that we get to dig deeper to a little personal side of him, because in the Season 2 arc of, the Mandalore arc, we see that he pretty much has, personal feelings for the Duchess of Mandalore, Duchess Satine. And, of course, Obi-Wan is a person who always likes to follow by the book. He doesn't like to, break the rules and everything. Obi-Wan's a strictly by the book person. So, to see him, like, almost lose himself, but he kind of didn't lose himself, but he kind of did a little bit in a way, with, after Duchess Satine gets killed and everything, we see a different side of Obi-Wan that we don't really see in the movies at all. And I love that. It's just incredible. Now, with Anakin, I mean, we all know pretty much the prequel of the Skywalker saga is all about Anakin. And a great thing about Anakin is we get to see, of course, his relationship with him and Padme, and his witty banter with him and Ahsoka. And what I love about how in Season 3, there's an arc, the Mortis arc, where Anakin gets to see his future, and he sees what's going to happen to him, that he pretty much ends up becoming a Sith Lord. And that pretty much, it scares him to the fact that, he forgets about it and it leaves his mind. But the fact that they tease it in Season 3, it was beautiful. It gave us something to look forward to as a whole. So, besides Anakin, Ahsoka, and Obi-Wan, there's also other few Jedis that we also get to see get focus episode. We get Kit Fisto, who's pretty much... I tend to forget that Kit Fisto is very, useful in aquatic environments. You also have Ki Adimundi, you have Luminara, you have Ayla Secura. You have a whole slew of Jedi Knights here that we get to see that's besides the usual Anakin, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, or Padme. It's just incredible. And speaking of Padme does great in the show as well, because not only we get to see, the corruption side within the Jedi and the Sith, but the corruption within the political side of the Republic in Star Wars, because politics as a whole is, it's a crazy topic to even talk about, but politics in Star Wars and how, you know, there's so much deceit and deception within the background of the political system. Padme is like a detective ready to figure out what's the situation here, how is this happening, how could you guys go through with this, and so on and so forth. And again, goes back to just great storytelling. Now, my next group to talk about is the Sith. I love the way the Sith is portrayed in Clone Wars, because if you're just watching the Clone Wars movie, I mean not the Clone Wars movie, the Star Wars films, you just see the Siths as, you know, typical evil organization of dark Jedis. Yes, but here in the Clone Wars, we see so much, there's so much betrayal within the Sith, it's just, it's crazy. Of course, we all know Darth Sidious is the one really pretty much pulling the strings throughout the entire Clone Wars. He's the main mastermind of the Star Wars Skywalker saga. But we get to see so much, you know, treachery with Count Dooku, who has an apprentice named Asajj Ventress, who is one of my favorite pretty much one of my favorite Star Wars villains in the prequel trilogy as a whole. And not only that, we also get the return of Darth Maul. We also get to see an introduction to his brother, Savage Opress. It's just incredible. And the the amazing thing about Darth Maul is to know that his master pretty much just cast him out, how Darth Sidious just forgot all about him, and then when Sidious finds out that Maul is back in action and takes it upon himself, you're like, alright, let me teach my old apprentice a lesson that he's not going to forget. And Maul pretty much takes it upon himself to pretty much become a popular name in the underground empire, like the crime syndicate of the Republic, and just tries to, you know, he knows about the plan that Sidious has for pretty much the entire galaxy. He was pretty much trying to prevent Order 66 from happening by killing Anakin, but no one would listen to him. So Maul was pretty much trying to help y'all, trying to help the Jedi in the same way, just not in, you know, not in a very friendly manner, but in a more hostile way. But again, the return of Darth Maul as a whole was just incredible, because trust me, when I found out that Darth Maul was coming back to Star Wars, I thought he was dead. Like, straight up. Obi-Wan straight up split the guy in half, separated his upper body from his legs. He's gone. But they brought him back in a phenomenal way. And of course, Darth Maul is now he's pretty much one of the most popular Star Wars villains out there. And he's incredible. And of course, the dual sabers. What else can you say about the dual sabers? Now, back to Ventress, though. I love how she pretty much is an apprentice of Count Dooku. She becomes basically, she's like a rival for Ahsoka. And every time Ahsoka and Ventress go at it in a lightsaber duel, it's always cool to see those two in a fight. Heck, there are even moments in the show where they're forced to work together. And again, that's just phenomenal. Now, I mean, that's pretty much all the main factions that I talk about, or that's pretty much brought up in Clone Wars. But there's other formations in the show that talk about, like the Mandalorians. You get to also see the bounty hunters like Cad Bane, who plays a very prominent role in the show's second season, because the bounty hunters are front and center within the second season, like Boba Fett, who pretty much plans a whole revenge plot against Mace Windu for killing his father. It's just incredible. And not only that, we also get some cameos from prequel and OG trilogy characters like Greedo, you know, the guy that Han Solo shot first. We also get the return of Qui-Gon Jinn, and he's also voiced by Liam Neeson. I gotta applaud, you know, the people behind the show to actually be able to get Liam Neeson back to voice his Star Wars character. And we also get Grand Admiral Tarkin in the show as well. He makes a few cameo appearances in episodes throughout this series. This show is just an all-around love letter to Star Wars fans, all around, and I love everything about this show. Pretty much, I know a lot of people like to dog on the prequels, but you ask me, Clone Wars pretty much made the prequels even better. And I grew up with the prequels, and I love the prequels, and I'm not afraid to admit that. Despite how bad that they may be, I love the prequels. But anyway, guys, That's my review of Star Wars The Clone Wars. In the comment section below, what did you love about Star Wars The Clone Wars? Who was your favorite character? What was your favorite arc? Who was your favorite clone trooper? Who was your favorite villain? Just let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to be notified. And as always, I am Vengeance, I am Darkness, I am Blackwing. Stay golden, and may the Force be with you.